I'm going to have Fredda say, have a seat, Fredda, okay? I'm going to have Fredda tell us a little bit about her and her ministry, but I just want to say something about Fredda. So whenever Fredda does you saw the dental van out there, right? That's a clue, okay? That's a clue. So whenever the dental van is here and I want my spirits uplifted, I just go out and say hi to Fredda. And she always lifts my spirit. That's just who Fredda is. She's always positive. She's always joyful. She's always got a kind word to say. So see how much you're going to have to live up to tonight, Fredda?
Oh, wow. I can just feel those wings sprouting.
These Wednesday nights, by the way, for those of you taking notes, you kids, the grades 4 through 9, we're taking notes. We're going to be interviewing people and just asking about what they do in terms of their service. So this is #HowIServe, right? So that's the title, and you can put Fredda, Fredda, Smith.
That's right.
Common spelling, okay? And put that down, and then you can just kind of listen to our conversation, and just kind of write some notes, and then turn those in at the end of the service. So, Fredda, we have some questions that we're going to kind of get us going with here. So first of all, just tell us a little bit about your ministry and what you're kind of giving your life to right now in terms of that ministry.
Yeah, is that I work for Medical Teams International, and it is through the Mobile Dental Clinic, which I am a clinic manager, and that lovely red van out there is my baby. It is a dental office on wheels, and I ask the Lord every day to lead me to where I am needed. And I think that the ministry part of that, it doesn't matter who comes to the door, it's my job as God's child to love on them. And so that's really what my mission is. Sometimes it's repairing a smile, sometimes it's taking a tooth that is causing some problems, and sometimes it's just hugging them to let them know someone loves them. And God is here for them. And I oftentimes will point out, they'll say something, I'll say, well, you saw the cross on the outside, right? Like, they think they're going to a dental office, and I go, no, you're coming for a little more here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's your daily driver?
Yeah, that's my daily driver. I do schedule the oil changes. It's a diesel. It's got 88,000 miles on it. When I got it 12 years ago, it had 3,000. It was brand new.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you put some miles on that thing.
Yeah.
And you actually do drive it and everything?
Oh, yeah. I drive it. I make sure the oil gets changed. It's very interesting. It has 3 distinct sections of it. One is the chassis and the oil changing and that type of thing, the tires, the wheels, the motor part of it. The other is the dental equipment. And then the other is the RV portion, because those really weren't designed to be on the road as much as I take it on the road and bump down I-5 and that type of thing. And, it's just been an amazing episode in my life that I truly love. I love my work, and I hope that shows. And thank you for noticing.
Okay. Well, Fredda, you've answered the second question. Second question is, what joys have you experienced by serving in this way? So you've already said a little bit about that, but...
I think that an untold joy that I have is how God interacts with me daily. Is that, and it just happened last week, is that the dentist who was supposed to be here with us today had a family emergency in Taiwan, and so it was that he left. And I found out, I don't have a dentist. And so I just said, Lord, I think you can handle this. I'm just going to give it to you. And just immediately I got an email from Dr. Ron Lowe who said, hey, I want to work with you, and I'm available Wednesdays. And I wrote back, can you be here next Wednesday? And he said, why, sure. And I said, thank you. So I think that the joy I really feel is the complete interaction that I feel to the Lord.
Okay. But you also work with other people who have servant hearts too, like the dentists and,
yes.
the hygienists. They volunteer their time
Yep.
as well, don't they?
The really wonderful thing is the mobile dental clinic is really ran by all volunteers except for me because I drive it. But oftentimes, to have a clinic, we must have a dentist. And it's wonderful to have a dental assistant. And we're really blessed here at Grace Lutheran because we do have that. And we oftentimes even have a hygienist so that people can get their teeth cleaned. But I really have to admit, the cleaning part of the tooth mobile out there, it was really like 10 years ago they should have got their teeth cleaned. Is that this is more of an urgent care, urgent services to really relieve pain and infection.
Okay. Yeah, good. So what kind of feedback do you get on the impact that you're making? Just one maybe story or a couple stories about kind of feedback that you've gotten over the years, maybe somebody you've helped or whatever.
Yeah, is that I have one dental assistant who is just a joy. And she says, "Do you know why I come, don't you?" And I say, "Well, I hope to help me." And she said, "No, this heals my heart." And I thought that was very impactful, that someone that would come to volunteer would say, "No, I do this for me, for my heart." And I love that. Patients are so grateful. There are so many hugs. There are so many thank yous. And sometimes I feel guilty because I don't appreciate what those people have gone through. And I know that it's a lot of pain. And so, just saying, "Oh, you're so welcome," and of course you're welcome, doesn't feel like enough oftentimes.
Very good. Here's another one that might be, how have you been challenged or grown as you've served in this capacity? How have you kind of been challenged or grown? I'm sure you've had some challenges.
Well, yeah, last Thursday, I decided that I was going to have a clinic, an unexpected clinic on Vashon Island on Friday. So I thought, I better go to the dental van and get it a little spruced up. And I fill the water tanks and I dump the tanks and I do all this. So I got all back. And the door has been sticking when you go in and out. And of course, I thought I closed it and the steps didn't come up. And I bumped the wall going into the storage shed.
Okay.
So I said, my wonderful husband, I'm crying, "Chuck, you got to come help me. I've ruined the steps again."
Is that why there was a board underneath and outside out there?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And if you notice now, there's a lovely little circular staircase,
Yeah.
It's got a little curve to it. And so the challenges have been that way. Just driving the van is a challenge, is that traffic in this area is amazing. I rise every day at 5 o'clock, leave the house by 6, arrive to the dental van by 5:45, and then get ready to go, leave by 7:15 this morning, and I didn't get here until 8:30. So I'm thrilled to stay late because there's going to be no traffic going home. But the challenges, it's hard for me, especially when a person will come in and there's really nothing I can do to help them. That is a huge challenge for me. But this wonderful dentist came to me and he said, "Fredda, we listened to them. We let them talk. We educated them about what they have, what their problem is. And so don't be so hurt because we really did help that person today." And then that's true. We did. They gave us a big hug when they left, but it was really hard to see that I couldn't help them completely.
Yeah. Is that primarily, when you're confronted with something like that, Fred, is that primarily because their dental needs are just far beyond what the van can handle, or?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
And but this case, it really was beyond what the scope is. And and it's really hard if someone gets a dry socket, because I move the next day to a different location, and for these people, and they're low income, it's difficult for them to chase me down. So like yesterday,
Okay.
I bundled up a guy and took him to a dentist in Tacoma that is my dentist.
Okay.
And we got him treated. So that there are challenges like that where it's not every day and that I'm really available and that they can come to me. And it's really hard for a person to come in and I have to tell them they need dentures, but they don't have the money for it. And so that's a hard one.
Yeah.
But
Well, today when I was out, a lady came who was Latina, and
Yeah.
she didn't speak English hardly at all.
Yeah.
And so how do you work with that? Do you have somebody who speaks Spanish, or how do you work with that?
well,
Sign language?
no, it's interesting because I've gone to Guatemala with the Medical Teams International, and there, when you're completely immersed in the language, you do pick up dental language, and donde
okay.
duele? Where does it hurt? That's really all you gotta know. And
What was that again? I may need that.
yeah, donde duele?
Don't they do it?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing is abra la boca. That means open wide. So, see, just those things that I get through. And we always laugh, and I say to them, oh, mi español muy poco, very little. And because a lot of times they'll come on and say, oh, buenos dias, and they'll come in, and then they say, oh, thank God, and they just go like this, and I'm going, uh-oh, done, that's it. But, cell phones now are just amazing. I've got a translator on there. I was talking to a person that was speaking Mandarin. And so, yeah, you get a little creative to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got time for one more question. Okay, good.
Okay.
So what inspired you to choose to serve in this way with Medical Teams International and the Dental Van? What inspired you to do that? How did you get where you are today?
Wow, that's a long question. To be honest, I really feel that it is from my family.
Okay.
Is that my mother was a huge volunteer for mothers and medical needs. My grandmother was a professional grandmother, so she took care of very handicapped children. Wow. And my great-grandmother was actually part of the Salvation Army. And so, and through our church and how we talk, and part of us is giving. And I really feel that that's how I got here, is that God gave me such a wonderful blessing to put me in a dental office. I did not go to school for dentistry. I went to work on the job. This dentist came in and said, here's this book, I'll be here tomorrow, know it. Okay, so I knew that book by the next day. And I just loved helping people to create that smile. And there's a huge portion of education in dentistry where you're talking about what you need to do to help yourself every day. And so, it's that. I think.
But you come from a long line of servants, people with servant hearts.
And I think that's where, that is where it's from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good. I could sit and talk to you all night, Fredda. I really could, but I know we have limits. So thanks for watching. I hope this video can further the discussion of your relationship with Christ, either at home or maybe in the comments below.